Imagine the following scene. You are sitting in your home, surrounded by everything you have built throughout your life. Your family, your possessions, your health. Everything seems to be in perfect harmony. But suddenly, everything starts to crumble. One by one, the foundations of your security disappear. What would you do if in the blink of an eye, you lost everything? How would you react if you were tested to the very limits of your endurance? Would your faith remain strong, or would you rebel against God? This was the story of Job, a man who, without warning, saw his life fall apart. He lost his children, his wealth, and even his health. And in the midst of his suffering, he even heard accusations from those who were supposed to comfort him. But he remained steadfast. His story teaches us that even in the darkest moments, faith can sustain us. Today, we will dive into the story of Job and understand how his patience and trust in God can be a powerful example for our own lives. Stay with me until the end of this video, because this message has the potential to change the way you face challenges. And before we continue, comment below. Have you ever gone through a moment when you felt like you were being tested? How did your faith respond to that trial? Share your experience in the comments. Job's story begins with a man who was upright, righteous, and feared God. He was prosperous, had a large family, and enjoyed a happy life. But behind the scenes in the spiritual realm, something was happening. Satan, the accuser, questioned Job's faithfulness to God. He argued that Job was faithful only because he had a blessed life. So, God allowed Job to be tested. In the blink of an eye, everything changed. Job lost his wealth, his children, and his health. What was once a scene of peace became a nightmare. Pain consumed his soul, and to make matters worse, those who should have comforted him began to doubt his integrity. His friends suggested that he was being punished for some hidden sin. Even his own wife said, "Curse God and die." Now think with me. How many times, in the middle of a crisis, do we hear voices that try to make us doubt our faith? How often do pain and suffering lead us to question God's goodness? But Job did something surprising. He did not deny his pain or hide his suffering. He tore his robes, covered himself in ashes, and wept. But instead of cursing God, he declared, "The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." Job didn't understand why he was suffering, but he chose to trust. And you, in moments of hardship, can you trust that God is still in control? Can you hold on to your faith even when you don't understand his ways? Now imagine yourself in Job's place. Have you ever faced moments where everything seemed to be going wrong? Have you felt alone, unable to understand God's plans? If so, you are not alone. Everyone, at some point, goes through trials that challenge them. I, too, have been through situations where I wondered if God was really listening to me. Moments when it felt like my prayers didn't go beyond the ceiling. But over time, I realized that God never abandons us. Many times, He is teaching us something greater. If you are going through a difficult time right now, I want to tell you, God is with you. He has seen your tears, heard your cries, and has a plan. It may seem impossible now, but Job's story shows us that pain is never the final chapter for those who trust in God. Reflection and final lesson. Job's story teaches us valuable lessons. 1. Suffering does not mean God is absent. Many times, trials are tests of faith. Job suffered, but God never abandoned him. He was in control the entire time. 2. 3. Our response to pain defines our future. Job could have cursed God and given up, but he chose to remain faithful. His patience and faith were rewarded. 4. 5. In the end, God restores. After all the trials, God gave Job back twice as much as he had lost. This shows us that faithfulness to God is never in vain. 6. So if you are going through a storm right now, remember, God has a plan. Your trial today could become your testimony tomorrow. And to reinforce this message, I want to challenge you. Write in the comments, "I trust in God," as an act of faith. If this message spoke to your heart, give this video a like and share it with someone who needs to hear this today. Let's spread this message of hope to more people. And if you haven't subscribed yet, take this moment to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. We have many messages that will strengthen your faith. May God bless you and see you in the next video.